Oh, we're on.
Hey, Bigfoot, we're here! Trail's down that way. I don't know.
Well, this is it here, right?
This is it,
Goes this way. It's not even dark out. We were already lost.
I know. When we were walking in the summer, it was grown in all the way to here. So like this path, you know, it looks like they've done a lot of clearing here. It was like Land of the Lost, and they were tall. And you're just walking through where you can't see where you're going, and that was at night too. And it just got done raining. No, it was the day after 4th of July. So you heard fireworks out in the distance. Boom, boom, boom. But as we're walking, it must have rained because I heard like rainfalls off the leaves. And that's when I stopped. You know how I'll always stop and do a testimony. And that's when I was like, I feel like something's pacing me to my right. And you'll see as we go up here that the kettle will be on your left side and it'll start going up. So really there's nowhere to go. It's either down or trudge up. And whatever that was, I was correct. There was something pacing us. Don't know what it was, but that's when it made itself known. So this place is a little eerie. Has some eerie vibes. So this is perfect, right? All right, so this is an area that you guys haven't been to yet, right?
Correct.
All right. So Tobias, go walk up about 500 yards.
Okay.
We'll see you in about Thursday.
All right, just come running if you hear screaming.
We'll walk up first.
Oh, okay. I didn't know it was going.
No, I didn't know what was going on because I don't want to send Tobias to his chocolate milk.
Well, yeah, I mean, we haven't been out here before, but you know, you said when you were out here that it's a pretty eerie place.
It gives me an eerie vibe here. So, yeah.
So we tend to keep things a little lighthearted here, but you know, we're always ready for anything.
Absolutely. Just watch the footing.
Oh yeah.
Steve or Lindsay? How you doing, Steve?
It looks like the film set from Sleepy Hollow. Johnny Depp.
Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, I can see why somebody would find this place eerie. It's not. Yeah, it's not much of a stretch.
The second time since we got here that it could be my eyes playing tricks with me. You guys also know there's 2 other people out here that we know of. But this is the second time in my peripheral vision that I saw what looked like something move from right to left, and it happened in the parking lot when we were coming up here, and I was looking through here, and it's directly straight ahead of us. So, you know, I don't know if it's my eyes playing tricks, but I'm going to make note of that. Alright, 3 ways to go. We pick, we stay on it, and remember what color we're going to stay on.
So we've got what? Green,
Yep,
brown, and orange.
yep. Orange is where I had time loss.
We should go that way then.
Yeah.
Okay, orange. So this way.
Orange that way. You guys want to do that? Maybe not go too far, but split up and just go 100 yards as long as no paths turn. Just give that a try.
Yeah, definitely. I really, if you remember where the spot was, where I think it was you and Sanjay, right, who had the missing time. I'd like to visit that spot if we can.
All right, we're getting there.
Okay.
So who wants to go, or do you want to just go there first?
Well, we can check it out first. I mean, I can go there by myself.
No, let's go together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Missing time.
Yeah, I want to take a picture before we go up there too.
Actually, Sanjay and I lost time in Area X. This is where me and Mary Marshall lost time.
Oh, I didn't realize there's several. Okay, well, once we get up there, then you should tell us that story.
We could be in it right now. You know, we had no idea.
Yeah. Well, do you want to relate that story?
Yeah, sure. There you go. Alright, so I would say the first time that I was in this area was actually with Mary Marshall, and it was late like this in December and snowy, a lot colder, and we never walked this path before. Now, in my documentary, the second one, you hear something crash behind us. That was a different time when we were here on a different path. But the whole time loss thing, never. I didn't have my phone recording or anything like that back then. But we walked up this hill that we're about to go to. It was really cold. Okay, and so it seemed like any normal day hike. That's what was weird. I mean, it was actually night, but it seemed like any normal hike. And that's when we went up there, and it was really cold. I tried to use my Seek Thermal that was on my iPhone at the time, and nothing. I mean, it was so cold, everything was blue. You couldn't see anything in night vision. You couldn't see anything. It was too cold. So we ended up heading back down the same way, because I almost remember slipping down that hill because it was full of ice. And we get down here, followed the same path all the way to the car. The only odd thing about it was that when we went up, we were 2 hours later than we were out there. I mean, you know, you could lose concept of time if you're having fun, right? You know, time flies when you're having fun. In this case, it was like cold. It was miserable conditions. It was slippery. It was dangerous. So we didn't stay out here that long. And that's when we headed back, got to the car, followed the trails down. And that's when I realized the difference in time. I think it was like 11:30 at night when we got out here at about 6:30, and we were, you know, hiking around these parts here and hiking up there. But we were coming back. It should have only been around 9 o'clock. I mean, that's the time it would have been. I mean, how many times have we come out, honestly? Depending on what time we come out. How long do we really hike for? We don't really hike past...
A couple hours, 3 hours usually.
Yeah, a couple hours or whatever. And I mean, usually we call it quits at what time? 9:30? Sometimes 10 maybe.
Yeah.
Kind of depends on when the area closes too.
Correct. That's the exact point. You can't park here past, I think it's 9 o'clock now. And then during the spring and summer, it's 11
longer.
o'clock.
Yeah.
So you can't park here that long. So I knew, because I'm an OCD freak, about not wanting to get, you know, a ticket or anything. So we were going to come back in plenty enough time, and it was after 11. And what's weird is it didn't feel like that at all. So and there's no evidence to prove it except for, you know, the other person I was with. That's the only way to actually prove that there was time lost. Other than that, it's all hearsay.
Right.
But it happened here, and every time I come to this area, I have a weird vibe. It's not scared. I'm not scared. I feel off. Like right now, I feel totally off. I don't know why.
Yeah.
I feel off, so.
Fair enough.
Yep. Good.
I'm gonna let it
So we're gonna. This is the route we took. I can't tell you when time was lost. But I remember this is when we came up. I have not been back here since then. That was 2016. This is making a lot better walkway.
That's why it's like summer kettle. You have that feeling of being closed in.
Right.
Winter, you can see everything. You
Everything,
can see
yeah.
the kettles.
Take the view in. You can really see without the leaves and everything here.
Yeah, saying that.
I mean, look at this. We're actually on. This reminds me of Hogsback Road
Yeah.
because that's what you're driving on. Each side is a deep canyon.
We could call it
Kettle.
Hogsback Trail, though.
What's that?
We could call it Hogsback Trail instead of road. Kind
We
of how
could.
we named the Stargate.
All right, let's name it.
Okay.
You just did.
Yeah.
All right,
So what do you want to call it?
I'm
Hogsback
calling it Hog-
Trail.
Ugh, I can't talk. Hogsback Trail.
Okay, sounds good.
It's fitting.
This is it because you can see why. Both
Yeah,
sides.
those sides are very steep.
Picture this and put it next to my picture of Hogsback.
Okay.
I just imagine this being nighttime.
Yeah.
Like a lantern on a stick, and then farther down a lantern on a stick, and just watching it go off and then nothing. I love it.
This sounds pretty funny because it's just like.
I think I'm all the way at the top of this thing.
Great, great. Actually, Emily wanted to try to go by herself. And I asked her if she wanted a walkie, but she said no, she's going to be fine. But so she's going to be behind you, but you still want to be a little bit at distance, so away from her. And that's what I told her. That if she sees you, she's just going to pull back a little bit. Then I'm going to go, and then Adam's going to be the bait.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, there's an owl that's been going off over here for a little while.
Barn owl?
Could be.
Yeah, let's listen in. Because the barn owl was the incident we had back in August of 2020 when I captured that thermal.
Hmm.
It's a barn owl. And it's weird because we heard that call, and then the call behind us was like an imitation barn owl, but it didn't do the full thing.
Hmm.
And it was really close.
Did you experience anything?
Anything, feeling. That's all we were saying.
I mean, you know, it's a little eerie out here, but it's a gray, foggy day, so I would anticipate that.
And I felt closed in. And the way I explained it to these guys is it felt like I was by myself. Is that I felt like I was being recorded.
Hmm.
That feeling of being watched that way. Not, like you said, not eerie.
Hmm.
Just kind of I've always said this place to me is exposed, unsettling, but not terrifying.
Hmm.
Yeah, so me and Mary didn't get nowhere as far as this. I mean, before it started coming down, we were at the top of the hill.
Oh, really?
Walked back.
Hmm.
It's good. Yeah.
Well, this should be pretty easy because if we just follow the same trail, we haven't really left this trail the whole time.
Forked off anywhere.
It forked off one place. Remember when?
Right. There's the intersection. There's 2 do not enter signs, and then we want to go that way when we get back to that intersection.
Okay.
But otherwise, it's a straight shot.
Okay.
Do not enter, I'm sure. Yeah.
Oh, we are covered.
It's a little slick here. So just watch that. if we come up on a case of chocolate milk, you know that's a trap, right?
Just sitting right there.
Just don't drink it.
You can't stop me. And then
Yeah,
gone.
right. You're like, I don't care that it's a trap. I'll live in fairyland forever if that's what it takes.
It's gonna be like Fire in the Sky. You guys are going to try it.
True. We'll be arrested for your disappearance, and I'll be like, no, he drank some fairy milk. I don't know what to tell you.
Just a case of chocolate milk sitting in the glass. Check. You can't stop me when you disappear. Because there's fire in the sky and you guys are going to fire from the front.
Yeah.
Until I show up at the phone booth. I'll be like, Travis, you moron, get back here.
Yes. I remember seeing that movie for the first time in the last 10 minutes. Yeah, them doing that.
Well, what's funny is, like, that's not what Travis said happened, like, at all on this, like, on the actual craft.
Hollywood had to beat it up.
Right.
But how about communion?
That's pretty accurate.
Completely started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christopher Walken at his
Yeah.
Christopher Walkeniest. Yeah.
They paid him strictly in something.
I'm pretty sure. I like the movie. I've read the book, of course.
That's what I was going to say, is how different was the movie from the book?
Not very. I mean, they left some stuff out because it's just a movie and they couldn't possibly fit everything in, but other than Christopher Walken just being bananas the entire time, like most of the stuff that happened, I think happened in the book for the most part.
So my question is this: how much of it is opportunistic, being an author, to write about it and to say they're having, boy, is this thick?
Yeah, is that weird?
Look how thick it is here.
That's what I was saying when I was still over there. You could see this like thick cloud moving in.
But I mean, just looking at you, I feel like I have stuff on my glasses.
Yeah.
But I'm not wearing glasses.
Right.
It's like I can't see clearly.
That's wild. No, I don't know. I mean,
No, I was just curious about that. How would it look? Like Linda always told me that, you know, in a way she didn't want to ever see a Bigfoot or Dogman because she writes about it. So
I wish I
therefore,
would've started recording that.
what's that?
You start over.
Oh yeah. I'll just be talking to you.
sure.
Okay. So that's the one thing that Linda always told me. Whitley Strieber, right? Communion, the book, the movie. And I always wanted to know, as an author, because he was already an author previously.
He was, yeah.
But then he wrote a book about an abduction case, which makes me think, was it real or was it not real? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I get it, because Whitley Strieber, he was a successful horror writer
Right.
prior, to his experiences. But since then, he's really only, as far as I know, has really mainly written about, his experiences with being an alien abductee or contactee, whatever you want to say. And I personally never got the impression that he was making anything up.
Okay.
Well, he went through hell because of that book, by the way. Honestly, like, it turned his whole life upside
And
down.
that's what I wanted to see, and this is what I was saying about Linda. Why am I hearing something weird? Like a...
I don't know. While you were talking, I thought I heard something kind of high-pitched, but it's gone now.
Well, it sounds like deep breathing. Anyway. Is that me? Is that you?
It's me.
No. It's coming from over here. I'll just keep talking. You don't hear that? Okay.
Your car's in the distance.
No, it sounds like it's right here. Alright, I'm just going to keep going. It shows nothing by my ear. This is very weird. What I was saying about Linda is Linda actually said she never really wanted to see, she never wanted to see a Dogman or Bigfoot and have to write about it because she's written so many books on other people's encounters that when it would finally happen to her, people wouldn't believe her.
Sure.
Because that's what she does.
Right. They would think that she has some angle on this, of course.
Correct. So she always, even though she has some, she really never really made big public announcements about it because of that. So I thought that was interesting.
I get it. Like when I'm writing my books, you know, like I'll include personal experiences, but that's never what the book's about.
Yeah.
You know, I'll add it for context or to be like, well, I can relate to this witness because I've had something similar happen, or just sort of throwing my own experiences into the ring in terms of something to be evaluated.
Okay.
You know, but like, yeah, I mean, I completely understand that, because I think as soon as you try to make it about yourself, that's when it becomes suspicious to people.
Right. So that's why we got to start writing off a book called Finding Toby.
Right.
Right? You got to start off with that
There you
because
go.
you know it's going to be about you.
Right, exactly. No surprises.
Yeah. All right. No, this is really weird, guys, because
It's not like, is it like a hat or a piece of clothing rubbing on something?
see,
I like try to move around a
every
little
time I
bit.
was talking, it sounded like you were deep breathing.
I mean,
There it is again. Are you sure it's not your coat?
could it be?
If you walk to me, just take a step forward. Right there. Okay? It's not me. I'm trying to do the... I don't hear any wheezing. I hear nothing coming out of my nose.
No, when you said you were, like, you heard something, I started holding my breath, even,
It's
to make
weird.
sure it wasn't me breathing.
This is what it sounds like to me, honestly. It sounds like something around this area, either right in between us or you.
Mm.
It sounds like, as every time I was talking, it was like a...
Big
And-
exhale.
Yeah, and I kept...
Yoga
I
breathing.
hear it.
Mm.
I'm hearing it. I don't know
Well,
where
it's
it's
definitely
coming
not
from.
me, dude. I don't know.
This is freaking me out. You guys don't hear nothing.
No.
Like, I'm
Okay.
trying to get my hat to rub on my hood or something to see if that could be it.
See, I
but-
thought... Okay, I got both ears out. Now I
Is
got...
it possible the fog is doing weird things to the sound?
That's my hat rubbing on my coat.
I can't hear that.
Okay, then that wasn't it.
Now I don't hear it.
Like, when you were talking, I thought I heard something, like, high-pitched, somewhere, like, between, like a dog and, like, a coyote or something. But as soon as, like, I couldn't hear it that well because you were talking, and as soon as you stopped, like, it was gone.
Do you know what? One could be standing right here. And I'm hearing it, but I can't see it.
What was that?
Just getting blasted backwards.
Did you just kick a leaf at me?
Adam was just kicking the air.
Yeah, I think there was a leaf on his boot that, like, rocketed over here.
All right, I'm doing my-
Charging him with assault.
I know this is what I was doing when I was by myself. I was doing this on the hill. I'm going...
Oh, I should have done that. I was in the hand thing. I forgot about this way thing.
Yeah, well... All right, well, I figure they know our hearts and our intentions, so
Right.
we're good. That was weird,
It was weird.
because it seemed like it was all around you.
No, I didn't hear anything.
Yeah, oh God. I'll be like, checking all the walking. You're like, you got them all.
I'm not ashamed to admit it. I probably just
That's how your pants get wet, finally.
I didn't think that the snow pants don't protect things.
I mean, honestly, we've been out here in the dark in the winter so often. A lot, even when it's overcast like this, it takes a long time before I feel like I need a flashlight. Oh yeah. I actually can see in winter darkness. We were out here, it was February, the first time we ever came out, and it was like a full moon, or a mostly full moon. Like it was, if it wasn't full, it was very gibbous. And we didn't need flashlights at all, like the entire time.
We just had the full moon too, so probably decent.
Well, I mean, there's all the cloud cover. We didn't have cloud cover that time.
True.
That was a clear night. So yeah, we'll add that to the list. Not allergic to mosquito bites. Can see in winter darkness. What was the other one? What was the one we were talking about before?
What?
The other reason people hate me. So, not allergic to mosquito bites. It was at the Thanksgiving at Adam and Amber's. I don't know, you brought it up.
Oh, is your phone?
Oh yeah, my phone can take pictures of the moon. Right. Wow, it's really foggy over here. Right. Jay, why don't you describe what you just saw?
Okay, you come back here real quick.
Sure.
Okay, so we are definitely hiking without lights. I can still see, it's getting tougher, it's getting darker, but I'm still able to see the path, this tree, and you were leading, then it was Adam and Emily about down to here. Now, before I stepped over this, because I was just making note of how well of a night walker Emily is, because she's, what's that?
I don't believe that.
Well, you did, and you stepped over here, and just as I did, because I knew the tree was here, I looked over at the tree to make sure I stepped over the roots like this, but right when I did, something in this area on this side lit up, and again, it was more of my peripheral, but I thought it was Adam shining, and it was hitting a reflector. So as soon as I went like that, I looked, and I backed up, looked again, and there was nothing. So I just want to make note, again, this is a third instance out of my peripheral tonight, and I mean, honestly, you guys have done this several times to where you don't feel like when you're out here that long that nothing's here, let's just make it back to the car. But I don't know.
Is this the start of the escort?
Maybe, I don't know, but the thing is, I like to document it as it happens, just because if anything was to happen up as we're going further and there was a light, we all saw it, then I could at least acknowledge that something was here. And I don't even know how far. That's the weird thing. It really wasn't that far out, because I thought it was, like I said, Adam's light hitting a trail reflector.
Right.
There's no trail reflectors here.
No,
You can
there's
have a
not.
light on. So
Okay.
anyway, I just want to make note
Interesting.
of that. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Anybody else hear that?
What?
Sound like a huge dog.
No.
No? Okay. Well, it was from over in this direction somewhere. I mean, it could be 6 p.m., it could be midnight right now. Said it could be 6 p.m., it could be midnight. You know? Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, I literally could not tell the difference. It feels like it could be any time right now. Could be midnight.
Emily's not leaning in.
You're not leaning in.
Chocolate milk kids telling our people.
Hey!
She's a narc too.
Why is this all against
A
me?
narc.
Let's try to keep it PG.
All right, well,
PG.
I would say you're right. This was one of the better hikes. That's
Oh,
it,
man.
better. We see ya. All right, so I actually think the Area B here, this was really cool. And we owed all to Tobias to keep going, saying there's only one way out of here, even though we didn't feel like it at the end. Didn't seem like we were walking forever.
Yeah.
We got there.
We did, but it seemed like, you know, at one point at the end,
Felt like being in a maze.
yeah.
Like a feeling of like if you're in a labyrinth or something.
But what? It was probably in the 30s, spitting rain, damp, cold, hard to see the roots and rocks that we're slipping on. But right off the bat, this is just will be a summary. Right when we came here, when we were by the bathroom, before we headed in, I thought I saw a shadow or person. I knew there was 2 cars here, but again, it was just whoop, right out of the right side of my eyes. And as we were walking in, before we got up to Hogback Trail, before we got up there, I saw it again. So again, I just document it and report it. Now, what did we do after that? We walked up Hogsback
We leapfrogged.
and we leapfrogged it. So we'll start with Tobias. You led it way out there. Anything?
No, you know, honestly, right away, I got on top of the hill and then sort of crested it and started waiting for you guys. And I didn't really notice anything unusual. It was kind of an eerie day. It was very foggy, sort of gray, dim kind of day anyway. But no, I didn't experience anything anomalous until much later. I mean, certainly like when you're standing out there by yourself, you tend to feel like maybe you're being watched. And so I had my head on a swivel, I guess we'll say. And, occasionally I would get a feeling like there was something behind me to turn around, but there's never anything there. But yeah, it wasn't until much later that I saw anything.
Okay, so starting off there, you kind of had that feeling. Emily, you were next in line, the leapfrog. Anything?
I thought I took a vlog myself, but it was quiet. You kind of feel like you're being exposed, watch kind of thing. But so my light sensitivity on my camera, like if you're shooting in daylight, the lower the number, the less light sensitive it is. So like when it's dark, obviously you turn that up. And I noticed it when I set it to 200, you get better quality the lower it is. But I hope I'm explaining this right. But so I noticed it jumped. I had to turn it from 200 to 800 in a very, very short amount of time. That seemed too fast even for sunset.
Yeah.
So I thought that was weird. I don't know if it's anything, but
No, and it's something because it was getting darker in that. Because I was the next one in line, and I didn't have like any creeped out feeling, but I had that. The only way I can explain it is if somebody had a camera on me, and I felt like I was on display, as if I was being recorded, being on live or something. And I mean, I wasn't, but I had that feeling. So then, Adam, you were the bait. The last one.
I hung out and back for a while. Didn't really have anything weird happen. I did take note of 2 people talking. We did know there was other people on the trail. Where they were, though, don't know. It was just showing.
Cars in the lot.
Yeah, it was just showing that the voices in there can carry. So, taking notice that there was people.
I heard you guys way before I saw you when you were coming up.
And that's how it was when I was hearing the people talk. It's if they were on our trail, but there was no one there. So, sounds really carry up. Yep.
Yeah, weren't you worried about seeing somebody behind you and then you turn around?
Yeah, like with the fog and everything being there, and then hearing the people, like you get your brain start going. It's like it is that image, like, okay, I'm looking this way and I'll turn around, there'll be someone standing there, and then quickly they'll disappear.
And that was during the day. So when we all caught up to Tobias, then we took the orange trail then at that point, didn't we? Or
It was orange
the
to
brown. To brown.
Yep.
Now, when we turned going around the brown, and that remember that you guys just started walking and I stayed back. I was hearing the rainfall off the branches and the trees and everything, but again, I swear, as I was there, I had that watched feeling, and what I thought I heard was bipedal walking. I don't know if I recorded it. I don't know if it's the pareidolia of the rain falls off everything, but I got that feeling. But that's when we started going, and it started getting darker.
The forest definitely started getting a lot thicker.
Yeah.
It was definitely.
Oh.
The trees were getting very thick.
Before then, I'm sorry. No, was this? I'm trying to figure out what about that humming or I was hearing when I was talking to Tobias. Remember? And it was none of us.
I thought it was high pitched.
Well,
that was before we took the brown trail cut across, because it was still kind of light.
Okay.
At that time.
But what I heard was kind of a deep. I don't know if it sounded like breathing, a long, deep exhale. But I guess whatever it was distracting whenever we were talking. Remember we were talking about the author thing and everything, and that was really bizarre. You guys didn't hear it. I heard it. I lifted up my my hat to expose my ear more. Didn't hear a thing.
Sure. Well, that was when, at the same time that was happening to you, I heard a higher pitched noise. It sounded like, somewhere between like a dog and a coyote. And it was coming from further down the trail to my right. So you guys were basically all, like, they were to my left and you were just in front of me as we were talking. But, then I didn't get I couldn't hear it as well because we were having a conversation, and then it was gone as quickly as it came, really, because it didn't last for very long. And then I didn't hear it again, so I don't know.
Yeah, and then I didn't hear what I heard. But I think that was it until the whole light thing happened. And I don't know if I was the first one. Remember you came back when I was crossing the tree. I was behind Emily, and right when I crossed the tree, it looked like a light out of my peripheral vision was there, and I thought it was Adam's flashlight turning around, flashing, and maybe it hit a trail marker on a tree. So immediately I backed right back up to look, and there was nothing there. That was the first thing, the first of the lights I think that we've seen. But then what did you guys see then on the path?
Well, I was in front, and
right.
So I saw, I think, the lights first, and I saw what it looked like, some sort of like twinkling up ahead, and then it looked like sort of a flash, like somebody had a flashlight on, and then turned it off. And so like I kind of looked at it for a second, and I see this flashlight thing again, like it's just illuminating this area. And so I walk up, and I'm looking around more at that point, and that's when I'm looking off to the side of the trail, and I think you guys had joined me by then. And
yes.
I'm looking off, and I see this red light, and it's tough to tell how big it must have been, but I would guess like golf ball sized. And it was maybe 50, 75 feet away. But the weird thing, it was like somewhere around 20 feet in the air, and it flew diagonally from my left to my right, diagonally up into the air, and then disappeared.
Okay. Yeah, because then you saw a red light too. Or no, wait. Did you see it at the same time when we were all clustered there?
When we were all clustered after he saw his, and we were all kind of staring off to the right.
Yeah.
I saw a red light. Probably describe it as like the size of a small like Christmas light that you would put on a Christmas tree.
Okay.
It was just real bright, real quick, and it kind of took off to the right. It was only there for just a few seconds, but bright enough to catch my attention, and then gone as it shot across.
Right. Then Emily, you said you saw something red too.
Yeah, I saw like, if you can imagine like a dust orb, but like red.
So it was a kind of a transparent, or
Yeah, it was like a transparent circle.
Okay.
And it was probably lasted like slightly less than a second.
okay.
And it was weird seeing that with the naked eye.
Yeah, and all the way back when we were leaving, and at this point, I don't think we really stopped anymore, did we?
Not
We were just hightailing it out,
Mhm.
and we're seeing lights. I'm seeing lights to my
Periphery.
our peripheral vision. And what'd you say, Adam, when you got back, when you were seeing things?
As we were going back, we were just in get out mode, where it's kind of like I saw something out of the, like, at least twice, once to the left, once to the right, and I saw it, and I was gonna ask, and I didn't even bother asking because it's like I don't want to stop.
I know,
I
right?
want to just
Same
keep
thing,
going.
yeah, same
And then when we got back to the car, then it's like everyone else was.
We're seeing lights
saw
to
the
my
same thing.
peripheral. We're like, I'm not saying anything.
I
That's
saw
just
the brightest red light I have ever seen out of here, out of the corner of my left. It wasn't even like really the corner of my left eye so much as like sort of like diagonal.
okay.
And it was, maybe, I mean, it's tough to compare it to a ball because it was oblong, so it was shaped like this. Really.
Okay.
And it just lasted for a second, but it was bright as hell. And I caught it, diagonal in my vision as we were walking, but I wasn't going to say anything. But I did stop, and I like turned around and I looked to make sure it couldn't be like you, but you were way back there. And
Yeah, we were.
so I'm like looking around to see where you guys were, because for most of this, like I was a good
30 yards.
yeah,
Easy.
like I was pretty far in front of you guys for most of this. So I turned around to make sure it couldn't have been your light,
Right.
And it definitely couldn't have been because you were way too far back.
Yeah.
And
I don't have
didn't
that high-
an explanation for it,
and-
but at that point I was like, well, I mean, I'll just talk about it later because this is just another light. And then I saw a white light like that as well, And
Yeah.
I think that one was one that maybe I don't know if we stopped, but I think we might have noted that we saw it.
Yeah. So the thing is, that's what's out here, which I have no idea what it was, but we've all witnessed it tonight, and that's all we can do is document it right now. And I'm glad you documented the sizes and everything too,
Right.
because what I saw, almost like I said, my peripheral is I was using a low red light for me and Emily back there, but it would seem like if they had like a pen light and it was like right there by your eye, it was really kind of blinding right there for a second, where I blinked and looked a little bit left and it wasn't there, and I'm like, again, I have no idea what the hell that was.
Well, that's the way you describe it, is like when the ones that I was seeing, I'd see them out of the peripheral vision, and I assumed that you had your red light on and it was catching the frames of my glasses. So I
Right.
would turn, and like you said, like you weren't back there. Like
Right.
there was enough distance between all of us
Right.
that there's no way it would have shined over here. So it was something on this side, but it was just kind of a don't pay any attention to it. Just kind of just keep walking type of thing.
Well, I think it was a great hike. So we got to do this again. Not wait so long, but
Hunting.
this was great. Oh yeah, hunting. All right, guys, let's move on.